One of the most powerful ways that have helped me overcome my meat stroking addiction is something truly unique. At first, and this may be relatable to a lot of you, I kept relapsing back into my addiction after I've reached a 1-week streak. After 1 week, it was like I had forgotten the pain of relapsing, so the temptation to do it again had increased. I felt like this time was going to be different. I wouldn't regret it. Maybe NoFap was a placebo after all. It wouldn't hurt just relapsing once. It'll make me feel better. Then I will reset and come back stronger. But all these were just lies. Voices in my head trying to talk me into doing something that isn't beneficial to me. The voice I have after a relapse saying, "We are never going to do this again," had dissipated, vanished into the darkness. All that was left were the self-sabotaging voices. This recurring problem angered me so much that I obsessively tried to find a solution to it. A golden key that would help me fight off these sabotaging thoughts in my head. The solution I found was pretty surprising, and it's in this video. Every action in life starts with a decision, so let's get hands-on with this. Grab yourself a notepad and a pen. We're doing a little exercise that's going to put things into perspective. Ready? Let's roll. Draw a line straight down the middle of a page. Now, on the left side, I want you to get real with yourself. Imagine your life if you keep stroking your turkey for the next 20 years. Think about it. How many hours are you going to waste every year? How much energy are you pouring into this habit? How many times will it pull you away from what you're really supposed to be doing? And man, think about how you're going to feel 20 years down the line, realizing you never broke free from the cycle. Write it all down. Don't hold back. Now shift gears and move to the right side of that line. Picture your life without giving in to the urge to bust nuts. Imagine all that time you're going to reclaim. Think about the energy you'll have stored up for things that genuinely matter. What new hobbies could you dive into? How will this change push you closer to your goals? And imagine the pride, man, feeling like a champ knowing you took control. Jot down everything that comes to mind. You got it all down? Good. Now, fold that paper right along the line you drew and snip it in half. Take that left side, the one with all the what-ifs and regrets, and let's give it a proper send-off. Head outside with that piece of paper and a lighter. But hey, safety first. Make sure you're doing this in a safe spot where you won't start an accidental bonfire. Stand there, paper in hand, and make a declaration to the skies. I will never touch my pee-pee inappropriately again. Then, with conviction, light it up. Watch it burn and say, to hell with it. Just let it all go. Remember, this is more than just burning a piece of paper. It's about setting your intentions and letting go of the habits that hold you back. But seriously, be mindful of where you're doing this to not put anything on fire by accident. Let's make this the start of something epic, taking control and stepping into the life you're meant to live. I love you, brother. You can do this. So, you've made the leap, decided to quit, and right now, you're riding a high on that wave of exhilaration and hope, feeling like you've finally conquered your addiction. But let's not kid ourselves. This beast is sneaky. It's lying in wait, biding its time until you hit a rough patch, be it stress, sadness, or just feeling down and out. That's when it'll pounce, trying to drag you back into old habits. This is exactly why you need a solid game plan, an Ayankoji style strategy with all the contingencies mapped out. Think about it. What's your move when things go south and you're on the brink of losing it? How are you going to dodge that relapse bullet? We've all got our Achilles heel, that one thing that makes us vulnerable. More often than not, it's stress that does us in. Stress throws us off our game, gets us all emotional, and before you know it, we're spiraling out of control. Here's what you gotta do. Write down your battle plan, either on good old paper or digitally, whatever works for you. Pinpoint what triggers your stress and how you can tackle it head on before it tips you over the edge. For instance, when I'm wound up, nothing beats a long walk outside. Just me, the fresh air, and the sound of birds singing. It's like hitting a reset button. Stress dissipates, and I come back feeling refreshed and refocused. So what's your go-to stress buster? Maybe it's hitting the gym, meditating, or jamming out on a guitar. Whatever it is, write it down. Having this strategy in place is like holding a shield against your addiction, keeping you on the straight and narrow even when the going gets tough. Remember, the goal here isn't just to avoid falling back into old patterns. It's about building resilience and finding healthy, constructive ways to deal with life's curveballs. Just like Ayankoji, it's about being 10 steps ahead, ready for whatever comes your way. What's your plan? Are you liking this video so far? Hit subscribe and it will give you extra strength to become free from addiction. I'm now going to tell you something very personal that makes me vulnerable, so hit the like button to pay respect. Remember those self-sabotaging voices that I talked about in the intro? I discovered that there was a solid way to fight off temptation and sabotaging thoughts when they occur. Listen closely. This may sound weird, but whenever these thoughts would come up, trying to seduce me into inappropriate playtime, I would speak up assertively against them. I would call them out on what they were trying to do. I would tell them, no way, F you, I will never give in. If I give in, I will feel horrible and I will never let that happen. But I wouldn't stop there. I would visualize the object of my desire trying to lure me into relapsing and beat it up in my mind. So I wasn't just verbally resisting it, I was also imagining resisting it with force. Do you remember that fight between Ayankoji and the C Squadron in the second season? That's what it would look like. Me fighting against my objects of desire. And this would greatly help me. And I am confident that this approach would help many more men. What I realized is that when you verbally and physically resist your addiction, this will literally change the connections in your brain. The tendency you had before to give in to the temptation will weaken over time. And instead, your first instinct would be to resist it. Keep doing this for long enough, say more than a month, and you'll have beaten your addiction. No pun intended. Then it will simply be a matter of sticking to your battle plan as a way of living. We men have so much life force inside of us that it can all blow up in our faces if we don't control it. No pun intended. That's why if I could help even one man watching this, I would feel honored knowing that. If you know a buddy that is interested in self-improvement and anime and might like this video, I would recommend you share it so we can help as many as possible. I'm considering writing an ebook where I go in depth about all the strategies and mindset hacks I know to battle this and almost any other addiction. If this video reaches you by the time it's been made, a link should be in the bio. Stay tuned and see you next time.